specifically for UCF students. So through Handshake, you can schedule an appointment with us. We help you with internship strategies, advising. We talk about how you can get credit for your internship, so you can progress in your academics. Again, we also help with the resume and cover letter reviews that are specifically as you're applying to positions. Also, we host a variety of different workshops throughout the semester. We want you to be successful in your internship so you can learn about how to be successful through maximizing your internship experience. We also share with you kind of the ins and outs of how to go about your internship strategies. And then we have information sessions specifically for the Night Shadow program. And through Handshake, you can search and apply for internships and jobs. And what Cameron had mentioned, and I really want you to pay attention to that, is you do want to keep your profile up to date in Handshake. Now, Handshake uses an algorithm that helps with refining your search for internships and so on. So as much as possible, you want to keep your profile up to date, and employers are actually able to contact students through Handshake if you keep your profile visible to employers. And these are employers who have been approved by UCF Career Services and Experiential Learning. So again, this is a very safe platform specifically for our students. And one neat thing about Handshake is that you can actually follow employers, just like LinkedIn. You can follow employers. You can do the same through Handshake, so you get alerted when they're on campus or they've posted a position, and you can find recruiters through Handshake as well to connect with. So this is an extremely robust platform, and I always, during my meetings with students, go over kind of, how to best utilize this platform, because there are a lot of great features. Now, in terms of getting credit for your internship, and I'll backtrack a little bit because internships are really key for you to progress in whatever major you are doing, right? And you get to learn about the different skills, you get to apply different knowledge and skills. So we want students to get internships, and fall is actually the most active season for employers to recruit for the following summer. So for transfer students, I know it might be a bit of a quick turnaround, but if you're seeking summer 2026 internships, you want to definitely look to see how you can connect with as many employers during this fall semester. Now, in terms of internship courses, once you get an internship, we want you to explore what kind of credit you can obtain. So through the College of Engineering and Computer Science, and I hear that most of you are within CECS, which is amazing. You are able to get credit for doing an internship. Now, some of this will require some prerequisite courses to be completed, and other parameters like GPA and so on. But you do want to explore about getting credit, whether it's for summer or future semesters when you have an internship, because this will count towards your technical electives. And so, again, it's really important that you pay attention to that once you obtain an opportunity, because you want to continuously progress in your major. So this is an avenue of doing it. Now, should you not meet the prereqs for CECS, other students other than CECS can also look for options and getting credit for their internships. Now, some of this credit can go towards your major. It just depends on what kind of credit you're seeking. And with experiential learning internship courses, you can do a 0 credit, which helps you notate on your transcript that you did an internship, or you could do a 1+, 1 or more credits for internships, or you can say that you're just reporting the experience. The more data you provide to UCF of how you're progressing in your career path, the more information we can, share with our employers' counterparts as well as leadership here at UCF. Now, with our internship courses, they are asynchronous, so through web courses, they're graded on a satisfactory, unsatisfactory basis. And the reason why we encourage students to actually take internship courses is because not only are you gaining some amazing experience at the internship site, but you're getting a lot of support from us. And also we have some amazing structured assignments that will help you continuously reflect on your experiences. And that's really important as you're thinking about how you're progressing in your internship. We want you to continuously reflect on it. And for the experiential learning internship courses, this will allow you to, for example, if you're doing a summer internship and going away and you are in housing, for example, you can be enrolled in our internship course so that you can get a housing release and so on. So there are many different options for you. I encourage you to talk to us, once you do get an internship, to discuss about what kind of credit you can obtain. Now, so we have some amazing partnership programs. We have a summer study or internship abroad program, which is with our UCF Barcelona Center. This is a 4-week program in Spain, and you get to do an internship with a local employer there. Now, we try to match as much as possible based on your major, that you make sure that you are getting hands-on experience related to your major. And this is an amazing program. Do scan the QR code if you're interested. And I highly recommend, internships abroad or study abroad. And obviously, Nick is going to talk more about that. And then if you are interested in doing internships outside of Florida, we have a partnership program with the Washington Center. And this is a great partnership where you get to do an internship with in Washington, D.C. So usually Washington, D.C. has, large employers, national, international, government-based agencies. So I would definitely recommend, if any of you are looking at sort of that direction, the Washington Center program is a perfect way of gaining experience, and you actually get placed into opportunities based on what your major is and what your interest is. So I highly recommend that program. Another amazing program, as I'd mentioned before, is our Night Shadow program. This is a program that takes place every semester during breaks. So the one coming up, for those of you who are exploring different opportunities, I highly recommend you participating in it. So the dates when you will participate are December 9th and 10th, and the applications will actually open up in Handshake from October 10th through the 22nd. So you will need a resume to apply to these opportunities, and you will see a list of employers that are going to be participating. It will be very clear whether it's in person, where the location is of the company. We do have some virtual ones as well. So these are different employers who have participated before. NASA always participates, which which we're really grateful for. And so depending on what you are interested in, you do want to apply to that, and then you're matched to participate. Now, again, this happens during right after the fall semester, so just pay attention again to the dates and locations once they are posted in Handshake. Now, a lot of employers do use the Night Shadow program to recruit students as well, so I highly recommend for you to participate in as many of these as possible. We do have different virtual information sessions to guide you in how you can participate in the program. So the first one coming up is September 23rd. All these are, again, within Handshake that you can search for them, register for them, and so on. Now, with our upcoming events, now Cameron talked to you about our expo. I highly recommend all of you attending this. We have close to 275 employers attending. This is a huge event. Out of that amount of employers, we have about 150 plus employees recruiting for College of Engineering and Computer Science. Now, this is an event that usually the fall semester has the largest draw of employers. So you will get to meet with some amazing employers, and they are offering a variety of different opportunities for students. So I recommend you registering for the expo, as well as through Handshake. You can actually see and filter out which employers are coming based on the majors that they're recruiting for, and you can follow them and really make a good list of employers you want to connect with. Then Cameron also talked about the Career Readiness Program. So we partner with Career Services on this. For based on your major, you can register for one of the industry days. So for example, the Engineering and Tech Industry Day is on September 24th, so you can register for it. And those slots are really being filled up. So if you are interested, we have 2 sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And this is where we invite employers to help with resume reviews, mock interviews, elevator pitches. So you're meeting one-on-one with employers at that time as well. If you're unable to make it in person, we have an all majors virtual day. And again, you're getting recruiters to reviewing your resume and guiding you and how you can make it more up to date for the industry or for the type of position you're seeking. So again, all these career readiness program events are eligible for the FastPass. So again, that's really great. If you do participate, you get to obtain a FastPass, and you would have to ask, once you attend, how you can obtain the FastPass. So all this is taking place in the Kenneth G. Dixon Career Center, which is on the Memory Mall between Psychology Building and the Alumni Center. Okay, and this is our contact information. Again, we really want you all to schedule an appointment with us so we can guide you one-on-one on how to get an internship, how to get connected to different employers. And again, Handshake should be your go-to place, because this is where you'll get a lot of great information on which employers are doing information sessions and coming to campus and tabling and so on. I will take, I know I'm out of time, but I'll take one quick question. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
So earlier at the beginning of your presentation, you mentioned about service learning and
Mhm,
courses that you can like choose that have that embedded into it.
mhm.
Do you guys have like a list on your website about what courses could apply for that? Because I'm
Yeah,
really interested in doing it.
okay.
But I was never able in my previous institution to find a course that was beneficial for my career.
Yeah, so usually service learning courses are more and you can do a filter through my UCF in the course catalog, and it will allow you to see and you can select the service learning SL designation. So it pulls up all the courses that are service learning designated.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And a real quick plug, especially, well, to all students, really, it's really important that you connect with student organizations because this is where a lot of employers go directly to student organizations to recruit for their internships and so on. So I highly recommend being active with a couple of student organizations. Okay, excellent. Well, thank you so much, and I hope to see you all at an appointment here with experiential learning.
Thank you, Mavi.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good rest of your
you.
day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Raquel, I think I saw you come in.
Yes, hi everyone. Happy Friday. We made it to the weekend. I'm so happy I went after Marvi because she's the bomb.com. I've known Marvi since I transferred to UCF, so I'll start sort of there. I am a double alum from UCF, so I transferred from Seminole State College exactly like 11 years ago. Any folks from Seminole State? Maybe like, oh, I love it. Okay, great, great. Where are my Valencia people?
We're right here.
Okay, there's always more Valencia than Seminole State. Don't hurt me, Valencia. Don't hurt me. But and for everyone else, wherever you transferred from, welcome to UCF. So yes, I transferred from Seminole State about 10 years ago, and I got my bachelor's degree in psychology. I minored in sociology, and then I applied and was accepted into the master's program, specifically in counselor education here on campus. So that's a little bit about my journey. When I came to UCF, I really had to hit the ball rolling just because of that, coming in as a junior status, and so luckily for me, I did have an idea of what my career was going to be in the sense of I wanted to be a school counselor. And so I just didn't know how to get there, right? So I actually went to do a job shadow through experiential learning and got to shadow some school counselors. I attended the career expo to see if I can get an internship. I've sort of been able to utilize many of the resources and departments that maybe you all are starting to connect with. And one of those offices is actually the office that I work at right now, which is academic advancement programs, and that's where my information comes in. So I quickly found out that for my career path, I needed an advanced degree. I needed a master's degree. And so for some of you folks, the career that you're building, right? The school counselor, the career counselor me is coming up. Um, you're gonna need a career toolkit, right? And so the tools that you have within your career toolkit could be an internship as your hammer. It could be volunteer work as your nail. And some of you might need a master's or a doctorate as part of your toolkit, right? That might be the screwdriver or whatever, right? To build the career that you're working towards. And so at academic advancement programs, okay, so okay, my camera's here, but my presentation's here. Okay, so at academic advancement programs, we help students prepare for law school, medical school, and graduate school. So our mission is really to make sure that all of you, if you've decided that getting a advanced degree, a degree after your bachelor's, for you all to understand what you need to become competitive for those programs and to understand the application process, because it's going to be a little different than sort of finding a job. It's same strategies, but different audiences, right? And then also graduate school compared to applying to law school and medical school has its own nuts and bolts that are a little different as well. And so we try to not gatekeep that information. As long as you have a willingness and commitment to get those degrees, we want to make sure that you're as informed and prepared as possible. So I quickly found out that for my master's degree application, I needed some help. And so that's where I utilized our services back in my day. Okay, so, to quickly move forward, to let you all know about our office, I always like to sort of start off by kind of differentiating between a graduate school degree and a professional school degree. Ultimately, when you kind of hear the word professional school, what we're talking about is doctorates and masters and doctorates that will specifically prepare you to exit as a specific career. So for example, one, that I see right there is a registered nurse. You go to nursing school after your bachelor's degree or simultaneously, and you leave as a nurse. Another one that I think about is dentistry, right? So you're going into dentistry school and you're going to come out a dentist. Same thing for law school, right? When you go to law school, you're going to come out as a attorney, an esquire, etc. Graduate school are all the other masters and doctorates programs. And so graduate school focuses on mastering a specific discipline or field of study, right? So for example, my master's was in counseling, and so I could work at I can work in education, I can work in private practice. It helped me understand the theories behind counseling, helped me understand the research behind counseling, how to become a practitioner, and then I can sort of take my degree now in different areas and whatnot. And so doctorates as well, right? So a majority of the time, the PhD or the doctorate of philosophy in a specific topic, let's say chemistry came to my mind. A PhD in chemistry will help you become a full-time researcher. And a lot of times you're going to apply to academia to be a professor, to be a full-time researcher, scientist, etc. And so within our office, whichever category you see yourself under, if you need these degrees, know that we have resources and opportunities for you to take advantage of. So our office is divided up into a few assistant directors and a few coordinators, but ultimately our staff, our professional staff, sort of are within the three categories of law school, medical school, or graduate school. And so we have specific staff for each of those sectors, if you will. I'm just gonna I wonder if I can. Someone's like walking around. It's a little distracting, but no worries. Another part of our team is that we have student staff that are excited to meet with you all at any part of your journey, right? I'll talk about the different stages of applying, of the way that we've broken down the application process, but no matter where you are in that journey, in those stages, we have staff and student staff that can answer your questions, meet with you one-on-one, whether that's drop-in or scheduled, to help guide you through the process. And they've all been trained and prepared by us professional staff. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, okay, Raquel, that sounds great, but like, how do you do this? How do you prepare us? Good question, my friend. So we do it in sort of three different ways. We have structured programs, which I'll go over. These are specific programs to help students in a more cohort-based model in their journey of applying. We also put on a plethora, a large amount of workshops and events to get you not only connected to the schools that maybe you're interested in, so that you can facilitate those conversations and make those connections, but it's also a way for you to hear information directly from the source, right? So who better to ask about applying to law school than law schools? Who better to ask about applying to Brown University's master's program than Brown University? And so we have those events. We put on day events, boot camps, and then our list of workshops that we put on throughout the semester. We also invite schools to visit campus, whether that's virtually or in person. And so we've had, for example, last week, we had the University of Tampa's medical school come within our office and table and meet with students. And we're also going to have Princeton towards the end of the semester to do a group advising session. And so we're always trying to bring the schools that maybe you're interested in, or those schools that you want to connect with, onto campus so that you have those opportunities. And then we also do this in a way of individualized guidance and support, right, through our meetings and our group sessions. Okay, so the three stages that we typically want to break up the application process to graduate school, and maybe I should have asked, like, when did you all sort of like transfer in, but maybe this is a lot to take in your first semester. I 100% get it, right? But at least you're hearing, even if you leave a little bit of this info, or if you leave with a little bit more of information, eventually, once you've settled into sort of all of this content, then you can process it a little better. And so when we think of the application process, we think of it in four specific stages. And there's even a fifth one, but ultimately we think of like you spending time exploring the programs and the degrees that you need, exploring your own careers to make sure that if the advanced degree is what you need, then you can work backwards. Building stage is more for meaning building your skills, building your resume or your CV, your curriculum vitae, which is an extended CV. And when I think of building, I think of sort of if you want to get your PhD, awesome sauce. You have to practice your research skills because ultimately you're going to become a researcher. So you have to build yourself as a researcher. And so that's sort of the stage of like building your experiences and your skills. Connecting with faculty. The mastering stage is understanding the application process itself, right? There are different components to the application process, from asking for letters of recommendation, even before that, creating relationships with faculty so that you can have strong recommendation letters. Essays. There are many schools, all schools really, law school, medical school, graduate school, asks for either personal statements, statements of purpose, but these essays that explain your journey, your purpose in your career, why you want to apply for, why you want to get your degree, and where you see your career going. So those are some components of the application process that we want you to master and understand. And then the actual applying stage, writing up your essays, actually putting together your application packets, etc. And then the fifth stage that I think about, it's not on here, but is a transition stage, right? Meaning like you're waiting to hear back from the schools. Maybe you want to talk to some grad students or some students that are already there, that they can tell you, how it's like to transition to grad school or whatever school. And so those are typically the four stages that we talk about. In our office, we break up these four stages onto our advanced degree roadmap, right? And so these are just suggestions and sort of milestones that we want you to be aware of and to start building so that you can sort of get through the application process in chunks versus waiting for your last semester to do it. And trust me, if you wait until your last month of being at UCF to decide I want to get an advanced degree, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. So that doesn't mean that we won't work with a student that's a senior, because we absolutely will, but the conversations might just be a little different. Okay, so this action plan, again, we're not gatekeeping any information, right? So this action plan is available for students on our Google resource drive. It's also available within our one-on-one appointments. I have it here. I'll send it over to Shay to put in your web course or to send to you all. But it's this action plan is a working document, like a living document, so it's gonna change as you get more information and as you work towards the application, but it's a way for you to set your goals and objectives and know sort of that checklist for yourself. And what we recommend you do is that, you know, when you create this action plan, meet with us so that we can also go over it and sort of help facilitate the steps that you have to take. Okay, and so I've already mentioned that you can meet with our peer mentors, whether that's through a pop-in that typically happens on Wednesdays, or through a scheduled appointment. So it's available either or. And if you want to meet in person or virtual, you have that option. And the way that you do this is through Handshake as well. And I'm not going to mention anything on Handshake too much because it sounds like all of you have heard about Handshake through the other facilitators. So awesome sauce. But you can make those appointments through Handshake. Okay, now getting into our structured programs. So really quickly before I continue, who has heard of our structured programs like RAMP, McNair, pre-graduate school nights?
Me?
Danielis?
Yes.
Okay, Danielis, tell us what you know about us.
This past week, actually one of the student staff came into my class and was talking about all of the programs that you guys have to offer.
Uh-huh.
She talked about the McNair program,
Uh-huh.
in which she was an McNair scholar as well. And she
Okay.
was telling us how she has been able to do research within the program and finding opportunities to connect with people within her field. And she also talked about how she was able to connect with other people that were also interested in doing the same topic as she was. And then she also
Amazing.
mentioned that for McNair, you can do it's mostly for like PhD students. So if you are for sure that you want to do a PhD, you can go and apply for the McNair Scholar. It is very competitive. But I actually had the opportunity to know two people who are actually doing it and they're doing amazing. Their work is incredible. But she also mentioned that for the RAM program, you can also, if you want to pursue a master for sure, maybe a PhD, but you're not sure, you can apply for the RAM program, which is similar to the McNair, but you have that opportunity that if you can start with your master's, and then if you find that you might want to switch to a PhD, they can also help you with that, connect you with resources, opportunities, and a lot of research. And then
I
yeah,
lied. Danielis actually works for us, and she's actually one of our peer mentors.
I'm
I'm gonna turn
undercover,
it over
guys.
to her to end my presentation. No, that's fantastic. I mean, you definitely set that's great. And I'm gonna tell Jarrell that she did a great job. You must be a chemistry student.
Yes.
Ah, okay. Awesome. Well, perfect. Danielis, if you're interested in, you know, chatting afterwards, you let me know.
I will.
But Danielis said a little bit about our structured program. So, it's correct. McNair Scholars is a federally funded program, and it's specifically for students that are really committed to getting that PhD. We do have some criteria and some eligibility that we really need to stick to just because we are federally funded. But the benefits are basically like a lot of what Daniele said. Being a part of a community that are in the hustle and bustle and the stress and the excitement of getting a PhD together, research opportunities, mentorship, GRE preparation, etc. But the criteria is very different from RAMP. And so, in general, the criteria has to be that you have to have at least a 3.0 GPA, have at least 4 semesters before graduating. So you do have to, you know, be a junior, which all of you are for the most part. You have to have a specific um, um, uh, status, just because of the funding portion of it. You also have to meet specific criteria. So you have to either be first generation and Pell eligible or be from an underrepresented population. And then I also want to mention our sister program, or as I like to think about it, as our primo program, cousin program, RAMP. RAMP is a little bit more lenient, right? In the sense of you don't necessarily have to have a commitment to pursuing a PhD. Oh, okay. So sorry, I'm running out of time. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and share this information with you. But they're two really great programs. And then I also want to mention, if you do not wish to go into those more committed, structured programs, we have some other programs that are open to you all too. Pre-graduate school nights is a web course, which is self-guided at your own pace. And then we have pre-health and pre-law scholars as well for those folks. And those are a little bit more of the structured programs as well. The point of contacts for each of the programs. But one of the things that I want to leave you with is that, we're here to help you become competitive and take advantage of our workshops. Already mentioned, many of them are facilitated by outside speakers. And then the last thing that I wanted to leave you off with is that we are putting on our graduate and professional school fair happening October 20th, right? So even if you think I'm not there yet, like I don't want to get a master's degree yet, that's not a problem. You can still to absorb information. That way later on, if you ever decide, at least you have a little bit of a foundation versus nothing. So you don't have to have a heavy commitment to attend the fair. You just have to have sort of a wanting of more information. So we're gonna have over 50 recruiters there, etc. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with us on social media. Our emails, we answer it every day. And so just know that we're here for you. And if you have any other questions, I think I will
Someone asked if you could go back one slide.
go back one slide.
Yeah, I missed the QR code. I'm sorry.
No worries, my friend.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, I mean, the last thing that I'll say as for transfer students, I know it could be overwhelming, but utilize the resources, find your networks, and I transfer shock is real, so you gotta practice that balance between like transfer shock and doing what you gotta do. So there are many of us here that have transferred to UCF and have, and that are also working here. So if you need someone to talk to, know that, there's alum here as well. So thank you so much, Shay. I'm sorry I almost took up the whole time.
You're totally fine. Thank you so much, Raquel.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, Nick, you are up.
All right, thank you, Shay. My name is Nicholas Shank. I am the program manager for the International Engineering and Computer Science program. Today I get to talk to you all about study abroad in general, but given most of you are CECS majors, I will also throw in the very specific portions of the program that is mine. I've gone ahead and sort of put out a bunch of information that I'm going to go and get this started. And yeah. All right, cool. So as I said, my name is Nicholas Shank, and I am the program manager for international engineering in the College of Engineering and Computer Science. I want to just, before I really get into the presentation, say that a lot of the information you got today is critical. So you see on here, I was at the School of Politics, Security, and International Affairs for 12 years. I managed their undergraduate programming, everything from pre-law advising up to internships. Washington Center is great, although I don't know how applicable it is on the STEM fields, but that's something you should talk to Madhvi about. This is really a lot of the most underutilized resources at UCF, regardless of if you're a transfer student or you're an FTIC student coming here freshman year. So really, I think it's great that you get this opportunity to hear all of this information, as well as mine. But most importantly, everything that has been said today is really something you should plan to engage in, and really just take showing up and doing one thing. So I highly recommend, whether it's my programming or other programming, really take advantage of the opportunities you have at UCF because they are extremely broad. One thing on here that I do want to note is the Boren Awards. So I don't see too many people on here with cameras on. So show of hands or not show of hands, who wants to blow something up
Let's
as a
go.
job? Okay, great. So Boren Awards is a nationally funded award by the Department of Defense. It focuses on immersive language training and opportunity. I did include the slide in here, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it now. But Boren Awards is a nationally competitive award that I focus a lot on in engineering, computer science. It has STEM applications outside as well. But I've also partnered with the Office of Prestigious Awards, who does all of the nationally competitive awards. So that is another resource that isn't here today, but is here available to you as a resource if you're applying to anything like Boren or Gilman or Fulbright, or there's numerous sort of nationally competitive awards. There is an office you can engage with that'll help you with that. So on to the main course. We were talking about study abroad today. These are sort of some general slides from UCF Abroad. What is studying abroad at UCF? Well, really, it is going out and taking academic programming in an international setting. So you're going to go out, you're going to take a course, whether it's at a host institution, whether it's through a global center, which is going to be UCF faculty or a faculty-led program. But really, going out and studying abroad is not vacation. So it kind of is, but there is a main component that is academic oriented, right? That could be co-curricular, that could be an international internship, that could be doing international research, but the focus is going to be engaging in some sort of academic endeavor. Study abroad works on your graduate timeline. I'll just sort of touch on a couple of these. It does. At least a realistic version of your timeline as STEM majors. I have programming that I've developed in summer semesters, so the UCF Global Centers that really do align very well for STEM majors. You don't have as much time always to do a full semester abroad, but if you do and it is something you're interested in, that is where I come in if you're in CECS. My job is to help figure out how can I get you abroad. We do have to play a little bit of iron triangle. So those of you who don't know, right, you get to pick two and then a third option is left. So I sort of tell students, right, one option is you go abroad. Another option is you get to pick where you go. The third option is you get to pick what courses you take. As long as you're picking abroad in one of those other twos, then I'll help figure out how we can get you out there. But it can very much seamlessly integrate into your timeline and not extend as long as you're flexible, which is important for employers, from what I heard in an earlier presentation. There are tons of different scholarships that fit your budget and a variety of different programming. So all of the programs that I really talk about today are ones that you can utilize your UCF financial aid. So if you're receiving Bright Futures or Pell Grant, or you're utilizing Florida Prepaid, veterans benefits, pretty much any type of aid you would traditionally get at UCF, you can use towards these study abroad programs that we're going to talk about. Most courses are offered in English. That is exceptionally true for STEM majors. We typically do not send you out to take courses in another language unless you have a very high proficiency, more or less native. This is the general UCF Abroad team. There is somebody missing on here. That would be Emily Poole, who's a new coordinator. But more or less, if you are not a CECS major, so any other STEM majors here, biomed, biology, etc., there are options out there for you. And I highly recommend connecting with any of these individuals of the UCF Abroad team. Those of you that are CECS, I am your first stop. Because if you go there, what they'll do is they'll turn you around and send you to me. They will pretty much do a similar level of service to what I do. The only thing is they don't touch the academic component, which is where I come in, is I pretty much do full service, including academic planning, course selection, etc., because I am embedded within the college. There are only a couple other colleges that have a me, and that is College of Business and College of Hospitality. Sadly, College of Sciences does not have an option, which is where anybody more or less, and Biomed, I don't think has an option either. Why go abroad? So I wish I could pull up, I don't know if he's still here, but I wish I could pull up what Career Services had talked about in terms of what skills that employers are looking for. I think one of them was, I meant to write it down, but cultural adaptability or cultural conscious, right? A big part of study abroad is developing soft skills, right? It is having that opportunity to sort of test your limits and boundaries and your experiences and what you can do and look at things through a new perspective. It can also be, as AAP said, right, a stepping stone in your career toolkit. What I like to do in large room settings, but also we can do it in Zoom. You are all potentially vying for the same jobs. And then there are hundreds of students that aren't in this Zoom call that are also graduating at the same time as you. Even if you're an engineering, computer science major, a bio major, right? We're a very big school, but we are also not the only school. So you're vying against these hundreds or possibly even thousands of students graduating at the same time. If you do that internship with Lockheed Martin through CWEP, right? If you do have that other experience or research, right? What are you doing to set yourself apart? Study abroad within the STEM disciplines is normally around 4% participation of the total number of students going abroad a year in the US. So 4% is a very, 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 very small number in the STEM fields. So that is one way you can stand out. What I prefer, because it is the much more individual one, is this is the only time in your life, as you have already done, as you're here today as transfer students, where you have the ability to potentially go somewhere for a couple days, weeks, or even months, so up to 4 or 5 months, even a full year, take classes, live in that country, and transition seamlessly back to your life here and come back to your degree and continue on, typically progressively, right? So continuing your degree, you didn't have to take time off for this. There is not going to be another time in your life where that is a real possibility, where there aren't strings attached, whether it's for a job overseas, whether it's for participating or moving with a spouse or something, right? Your decision to where you live and where you choose to come back to all typically are going to be under somebody else's decision making. It's not going to be under yours in terms of choosing to go study abroad in a given semester. Also the part where it can be funded through, again, if you're receiving Pell Grant prepaid, so using sort of money that's not yours towards that opportunity is great. At UCF, you have really 3 main types of study abroad programs, 2 of which we're going to spend a lot of time talking about, which is the UCF semester exchanges and the UCF in programs. The third are partner programs. Those are a little less. Anybody independently wealthy that wants to bring me abroad? I'll go with you. It'll be fun. We'll do a partner program. They're super expensive. UCF in programs, those are going to be a faculty member. This includes the global centers, right? These are going to be UCF faculty members that take you abroad to a specific location with a specific itinerary. In the case of UCF in programs, right? That is a true faculty-led program. You only really take one class. They're typically short term, so we're talking a week, 5 days to a month is really the most. They are eligible for financial aid, and they're not always major specific, except for when you get into the global centers one. So in general, for faculty-led and global centers, it is typically around a 2.5 minimum GPA. At the global centers, which CECS is at 2 of the 3 centers, there is also a third center in Barcelona or Costa Rica. You take a single course for 4 weeks. It's a 1-month-long program at a given location, right? So you're static. Everybody who goes to the Barcelona Center, all the students, whether you're a hospitality major, and they have multiple different ones, right? There's a biology. Any biology majors? They have genetics offered there this summer. No bio majors? least not on my screen. Okay. Um, sorry, it changed my view. I was trying to catch people's reactions. I really feed off of. Whoa. Oh, yay. Okay. I don't know what I did, but I'm gonna just roll with it. Um, so you all can still see the presentation, right?
Yes.
All right, great, good. My computer screen is showing something completely different now, so I'm just gonna roll with it. Um, you take one course Monday through Thursday. You do some academic activities in the afternoons, right? So there's 4 academic activities that come along with it, as well as cultural activities. All the different majors and courses that go take the cultural activities, the same cultural activities, while the academic activities are specific to that course. How am I doing on time, by the way?
Technically we end at 1:50, but
Oh, I will be done. We can
if
do
you
this
need
in
to
4
stretch,
minutes.
it's fine.
Okay. All right. So take a picture if you're interested in this. You're going to have another QR code at the end that'll give you access to all this, as well as I've already shared it in the chat, so you can always download the file. We're going to be in Barcelona and Rome for every major within CECS has a course option in there. Whether or not you're applicable, that's all going to come down to your prereqs. As you can see, those are all in the middle. So if you're going to have any of these completed or already have completed them, good deal. If you're going to have them done by spring, awesome. If you are unsure, just meet with me. You can schedule an appointment. Exchanges are full semesters. Those are going to be 4 to 5 classes that you take typically for CECS. We're only doing 4. Financial aid eligible, need to be a junior is questionable. That really comes down to, can you take the courses that are available, which is what we figure out. Here's an idea of what CECS offers in terms of exchange programs. Those black check marks are just, it works. Depending, it works. The gold check marks are typically great fit. There's not going to be a problem, or generally not a scenario where I can't actually send you to participate. Exchanges are very much a volatile thing, right? They can change from year to year. It depends on the courses. Everything's in English, right? So whether you're going to South Korea or Australia, you're going to be taking the class in English. And that does come in to have some fluctuation in terms of what works and what's best. That's why when we meet, we do a full plan that includes a lot of troubleshooting and risk management, right? Making sure, yes, there's a good wealth of courses available. No, there's not a good wealth. This is a risk, or can we avoid this risk by choosing a different location? But basically, yeah, you meet with me multiple times through the exchange process. If you're doing a global center, you can meet with me, but that's not required. You do have to meet with the faculty member. But obviously, if you just want to get more information and get an idea of how it all works, you can absolutely meet with me, and we'll cover everything. And then I'll give you homework to go do. So basically, normally it's to research, reflect, or review. And then anybody a math major? Dr. Barry Griffiths, he is the coordinator for the math department. He's great. Do have a couple options through them if you are a math major. I see the hand, by the way. Partner programs can't use financial aid. So again, if you're not independently wealthy, these typically don't work. They are a good fit in the ecosystem for getting you where you want to go, but there's no guarantee. Internships, that's highly fluid. Madhvi can tell you. International internships are interesting, great experiences, but not as easy to secure. Also, you don't typically get paid. So for engineers, it's kind of a big deal, given you can make about $30 to $40 an hour here. So why would you go pay to do that? All right, financial aid, yes, start early. I'm just skipping through Gilman. So if you do receive a Pell Grant, you can get up to $5,000 to go study abroad in a given semester. Just have to be a U.S. citizen and receive a Pell Grant. And then Bourne Awards, there is an info session on the 3rd. Those of you that are interested potentially in working for the federal government and learning a critical language, you don't have to have any background with that language prior to going. And this is just, if anybody wants an idea, you can always meet with me. That's sort of the bottom line. or if you're non-CECS, meet with UCF Abroad. Last page, boom, QR code for my website. Make an appointment with me. You can look at all the kind of information. I made it to 150. I will stay here and take questions if anybody has it. Otherwise, I'll let Shay dismiss you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Danelise, did you have a question?
Yes, I am from the College of Science, and you mentioned that that college doesn't have a designated people to reach to. So I'm wondering who would be my best person of contact for UCF Study Abroad.
Yeah, it would be the UCF Abroad office.
Okay.
So if you just go to studyabroad.ucf.edu,
Mm-hmm.
let me actually, I can pull it up for you and show you because it is kind of hidden.
Okay.
Boom. All right, so you all can see my web browser, I hope.
No.
Oh, okay. I did not hit the share button. Share.
Now we can see.
Great. I don't also have to be here anymore. All right, cool. All right, so on this page, under About Us, if you go to Staff, you can schedule an appointment with each of them.
Okay.
You can also just email studyabroad@ucf.edu and just let them know your major and say you want to talk to somebody and they can walk you through the process. Again, if you're a CECS major, then they're going to kick you to me. But yeah, if you say you're a bio major or chemistry or forensic science or whatever, then they can point you to the appropriate resources. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Andrew, I saw you had your hand up as well.
Yeah, no, I'm good because I was looking stuff at the website and it answered my question. So thank you.
Any other questions? All right. I don't think there are any more questions. So Nick, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you, you as well.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I will stick around if anybody has any questions afterwards. I will stick around and hang out for a minute. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Have a good one.
Bye.